when you walk into Algebra 1, Algebra 2, Trigonometry, Calculus 1, things that you probably learned in high school but probably forgot even in the year or two since you've been in high school, he wants that space to brainwash you with queer theory. He doesn't want you to learn about the Pythagorean theorem. He doesn't want you to learn how to calculate the volume of a sphere, things that you would do in a math class. He doesn't want you to, I don't know, learn about different things in calculus that I would like to think that I remember, but I probably have forgotten because it's been so many years. This is what he said. I apply my framework and research findings to argue how undergraduate mathematics education operates as a white, cis, heteropatriarchal space that limits learning opportunities, affirming of queer of color identities and experiences. So that word affirming is the key word. If you don't walk into that classroom and have your mathematics professor, who's supposed to be a nerd wearing glasses with tape around his nose, a pocket protector, and a big old calculator, if that person doesn't say, before we get started today, I'd like everyone to know that there are 127 genders, that my neo-Marxist pronouns are ze and zer, and that nobody in this class can use a male bathroom or a female bathroom because there is no such thing, and everyone can use this communal urinal in the corner for inclusivity. If the professor doesn't get up and say something like that, then apparently this is limiting learning opportunities. This is where it gets very dangerous, because this is the same sort of disingenuous argument as when the left tells us that our words are actual hate. Our words, not hate, our words are actual violence. Like, a word cannot be violent. A word is a word. A word is not harming someone. It might hurt someone's feelings. It might offend somebody, but a word is not violence. A fist punching you in the face is violence. Being assaulted is violence. Being run over by a car is violence. There's physical violence, and then there's just rude behavior. Perhaps the words are hateful. They might be, but that doesn't make them violence. But that's what the left has done when it comes to free speech. That's how they're actually trying to undermine free speech right now, by telling us that anything that we say, especially when it comes to COVID or transgenderism, queer theory, critical race theory, election integrity, that all of these things, that our words are actual violence. Not that they beget violence, not that they encourage violence, not that they incite violence, not that they do any of those things, but that they are actual, literal violence. This is the same, it's not logic. This is the same framework, I should say. This is the same framework that this professor at Vanderbilt University, Luis Leiva, is applying to the idea that if math professors don't profess queer theory, they are limiting a learning opportunity. Because here's the thing. If you are a young man and you have same-sex attraction, you are not rejected from a university mathematics program or a class because of that. If you are someone who has purple hair or green hair, someone who thinks that someone who has pronouns on their Instagram bio, but you have a high ACT score and SAT score, you are not discriminated against because of the color of your hair, because you think other people should have to use your neo-Marxist pronouns, even though we won't, and we'll talk about that in a minute. There is not institutional discrimination against LGBTQ identifying people at the mathematics level, especially at public universities. Private universities, it's not discrimination. Some of them require, for admittance, adherence to the morals or the religious doctrine of the school. If it's a Catholic school, for example, or a Baptist school, sometimes they require students to sign pledges and say, listen, I adhere to, I believe the tenets on which your school is found. That's different. What he's talking about is public education. Public education that does not, I repeat, does not suffer from institutional discrimination against gay people. Because it does not, because gay people are not institutionally rejected from math classes at public universities based on the fact that they have same-sex attraction or because they think they're a boy even though they're a girl, because they don't face that, he has to take this to another level. He has to say, well, if you don't actively celebrate this, if you don't pass this along, if you don't indoctrinate the other students in queer theory, then LGBTQ students, queer students might feel uncomfortable just being around you if you have a different opinion. And if they're uncomfortable, well, then they're not, that limits their ability to learn. Because if you don't have a comfortable space, how do you learn?